Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, two of the most famous and successful tech billionaires in the world, have agreed to fight in a cage match. No one could have predicted that we'd be talking about watching Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk fight in a ring, but both of the billionaires have built their names on making surprising decisions, and they don't mind taking risks when making business moves. All of this started when Musk replied to a tweet from a fan, but things have gotten so bad that it's now a full-fledged war, with many popular people and athletes from combat sports taking sides. Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg. Musk said on June 22nd that he would be willing to fight Mark Zuckerberg if the CEO of Meta was only ready to do so. These comments spread like wildfire through the news media, and finally they reached the CEO of Meta, who did not shy away from the task. Dana White, the CEO of the UFC, got involved. When he said he'd talked to both of the billionaire fighters, the whole world was on high alert. White has made sure that both billionaires are fully committed to the upcoming fight. After that, a number of mixed martial arts or MMA and Ultimate Fighting Championship or UFC fighters said in public that they would train the billionaire they back for an upcoming fight. Recent news has said that the fight might take place inside the Colosseum in Rome. Musk also agreed with a fan suggestion that Joe Rogan should be the referee for the fight. A Meta spokesperson said Mr. Zuckerberg's comment speaks for itself. When Twitter's media office was asked for a reply, an automatic poop emoji was sent back. Last summer, Mr. Zuckerberg announced he'd taken up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Since then, he's written more posts about his training, some of which include photos of him with experienced fighters like Dave Camarillo and Mikey Musumeci. Mr. Zuckerberg took part in his first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match in Woodside, California a month ago. He beat an Uber engineer there and got 2 medals for his work in the competition. Mr. Musk said, "I almost never work out." He suggested that the fight happen in one of Las Vegas stadiums. Katie Cook, who wrote The Psychology of Silicon Valley, called the tech industry a male-dominated, emotionally primitive place where leaders are rewarded for showing hypermasculinity. Tech industry leaders have been known to embrace conflict in public more than leaders in other industries. In particular, she said the leaders of tech businesses are known to be more open to conflict than leaders in other fields. Dr. Cook said when you get a taste of power by acting in some of these ways, it tastes good to a lot of people. A lot of people like the way it tastes. The two business tycoons have been known to argue with each other, but only verbally and not physically, about important problems in their field. In 2014, Mr. Zuckerberg had Mr. Musk over to his house for dinner to try to convince him that he was being too negative about the dangers of artificial intelligence. Mr. Musk hasn't changed his mind, and he hasn't stopped talking about how dangerous AI is. Mr. Musk says that Instagram makes people depressed and that Meta also owns Facebook, which gives me the willies. Why is Mark Zuckerberg doing this? Mark Zuckerberg, who started Facebook, has spent the last few years learning how to kickbox and getting very buff. If you haven't been following his exercise journey, you might not know that. It's a plan that billionaires have used before and found to work. What could be a better investment than putting money into yourself? It could also help him avoid something like what happened to Batman's dad. Since he was just accepted into the Jock Club, the 39-year-old CEO seems ready to do jock things, like beating up a pretty unpleasant person in his circle. How is Zuckerberg training for his potential fight? Zuckerberg says that he started learning martial arts during the pandemic to get in better shape. After about 5 minutes of my first lesson, I asked myself, where has this been all my life? Mark Zuckerberg told Joe Rogan that he's happy to talk to any famous person about fighting, which is something Joe Rogan is happy to do. Zuck also said that he liked the primal feel of mixed martial arts and that he's now learning the sport from a teacher who's worked with people who've gone on to win mixed martial arts championships. Also, Zuckerberg does a lot of different kinds of exercises. In June, he posted on Facebook that he'd finished the Murph Challenge, which involves running 1 mile while carrying a weighted vest that weighs 20 pounds, then doing 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and finally running 1 more mile. The last mile run is pretty hard too, when your legs are burning from the squats and your heart rate is up, he said. Overall, the workout is pretty hard. Fun! But is Musk actually training? Before there was a chance of a fight, it didn't look like Musk had been keeping up his health. Aside from the fact that he's very pale, pictures of him without a shirt taken last summer make him look like a regular 52-year-old man who's out of shape. On the other hand, Musk met with MIT researcher and podcaster Lex Fridman on June 26 to have a fun competition. A friend of Musk's and MMA announcer Joe Rogan has said in the past that he would help Musk in another fight if Musk was serious about it. A year ago, when Musk was thinking about fighting Vladimir Putin, the podcaster said he would help Musk in the battle. "Dude, I'll set up all your training," Rogan told one of his radio guests. In the meantime, he's chosen to train for the hypothetical match that former welterweight mixed martial arts champion George St. Pierre offered him. Have either of them actually gotten into a fight? Musk showed a picture of himself fighting with a sumo wrestler at his Japanese-themed birthday party in a castle in Tarrytown, New York, about 10 years ago. In 2022, when he wanted a single combat with Vladimir Putin, this happened. He said, "I was able to throw him, but it cost me my C5, C6 disc and 8 years of terrible back pain. However, it was worth it because I was able to throw him. The C5 and C6 discs were finally able to join together." Musk says he was able to pick up his rival from the ground and that his foe weighed 350 pounds and they were not jiggly pounds. Different things have led to Zuckerberg's success in the past. In May, Zuckerberg went to Woodside, California for his first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu match. During the match, he was put in a head hold and lost. The New York Times said that he started snoring, which could mean that he lost awareness. Zuck's public relations team has been trying to make it seem like this didn't happen and that he was just grunting. The New York Times is happy to stand up for its journalism. Zuckerberg won a different match later on in the competition. What would the fight actually look like? Musk's first idea was the Vegas Octagon, which would have been a pay-per-view or streaming event for the silliest fight since Hamilton and Burr. So, the answer to your question is yes. If the unlikely event did happen, it would probably happen at a top UFC site in Las Vegas, like the T-Mobile Arena or the UFC Apex. Dana White, the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, said that if the show happened, it would be the biggest fight ever in the history of the world, and it would easily make more than $1 billion. "I would break any and all pay-per-view records," he said. "People like these can raise tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars for good causes." Musk has said he's open to the idea of full MMA rules, which would give fighters more ways to kick, punch, and wrestle. As if the Vegas choice wasn't exciting enough on its own, Musk tweeted that there's some chance a fight will happen in the Coliseum. TMZ says that the Italian Minister of Culture tried to get in touch with Zuckerberg to find out how interested he was in the subject. Who would win in that case? Musk is supposedly 6 feet and 1 inch tall, while Zuckerberg is only 5 feet and 7 inches tall. This gives Musk a clear height advantage over Zuckerberg. Musk is also bigger than Zuck by more than a few pounds, but this may just help him with what he calls his signature move. Most people would bet on the younger CEO who can do 100 pull-ups first. But the true answer is the people who don't like you. If these two people did something like this in public, the people who don't like them would have won. Thanks for watching this video.